it doesn't really matter what martial art background they come from. What's up? Welcome to Fight City Gym Talk. You are here with Eric Wallin, and I had a question from 7HePlague236, and the question was, have I ever sparred anyone that does Kajukenbo, and do I have any tips or tricks on sparring someone with experience in that martial art? Well, I got to be honest. I didn't know much about that martial art, so I went and looked into it. But the conclusion that I came to was the same conclusion I have when people ask me that same question about, hey, how do you spar someone with a Taekwondo background? Or, and those are more traditional martial arts, or like a jiu-jitsu background, or a high school wrestling background, or someone with a boxing background. And I'm talking about MMA sparring right now. When we're talking about MMA sparring and you're sparring someone that's coming from a background, they've got a deep history in something, and they're usually pretty good at something. Well, Kajukenbo is a little bit different because it's claimed in some of the videos I watched on it as the first MMA, the first mixed martial art, because that's what it was. It was a bunch of mixed martial artists in Hawaii fighting a bunch of drunken sailors apparently or something. So, but the conclusion is this: sparring someone with a base and a background doesn't matter if all your fundamentals are taken care of. For instance, if you have great footwork, it'll be hard for a wrestler to take you down. If you have a great jab, it'll be hard for anyone in any martial art to set up whatever it is they want to do. And then back to MMA, like if you're going to be a mixed martial artist, you need to know how to sprawl. You need to know how to dance, move, kick, snap your jab. And so I guess what I'm getting at is it's really kind of fundamentals. Now, fundamentals in MMA are totally different than fundamentals in other martial arts. But the fundamentals in other martial arts still apply to fundamentals in MMA. So, on your toes, hands up, move your head, move your feet, pump your jab. That's going to kind of take care of all the stand-up stuff. Now, with that being said, when they rush for a takedown, we have to be ready to, I like to go knees, because usually when they're rushing for takedowns, they kind of get their arms up high, they're grabbing head, arms, and there's usually knee waiting for you. So I like, when people rush for takedowns on me, I usually look for a knee, then I'm right to sprawl crossface, and then I'm looking for more knees to the body, and then also taking their back, stuff like that. They'll usually turn into me and we're on the cage, whatever. So really understand fundamentals and be fast with them. Hands up, on your toes, move your head, move your feet. When they rush, we're going to knees, we're pivoting out, we're moving, we're slick. That all is still applicable, kind of no matter who you're fighting. Because the thing is, these fundamental principles work, but they do get a little bit of a wrench thrown into them. But you have to understand the fundamentals of Muay Thai fighting, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, takedown defense, stuff like that. So, is there an easy, quick answer? The other thing we haven't talked about, strength, cardio, flexibility. That's usually what I always turn back on. Because I've done a lot of different martial arts for so many years, I typically know the information. I'm not saying I know everything, but I typically know what I need to do. It's just, do I have the strength, the cardio, and the explosion to do it? And so that's something to always think about. If someone's getting the edge on you, could you improve your strength, your flexibility, and your endurance so that you can continue to do the right things and continue to do the fundamentals? The fundamentals is often the easy part, and also learning cool moves is often the fun part. The hard part is having the cardio to do it round after round after round. Anybody can look good for 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's hard to look good 3 or 4 or 5 rounds. That's where it's really hard to look good. So I don't know if that answers your question, 7HePlague236, but hopefully that's what I tell a lot of my fighters when they're struggling with someone that has a really strong strength. I always say, like, take care of your fundamentals, work on strength and cardio. If flexibility, if that stuff starts to come into tune where it's like, yeah, I've got a great stand-up game, I've got a great takedown defense game, I've got a great takedown game, I've got a great jiu-jitsu game, being able to work on the cage, If you have those fundamentals down in all those areas, the honest truth is, like, it doesn't really matter what martial art background they come from. And we see that in the UFC, where it's like, back in the day, it was always like this martial artist versus this martial artist. And honestly, nowadays, it doesn't really exist anymore. Like, yeah, they still will mention he comes from this, he comes from that. But really, it doesn't, where they come from has no weight on who's going to actually win the fight. Because who really wins the fight? The guy that's got good fundamentals and good cardio, flexible, strong, stuff like that. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. If you have any other questions for me about martial arts, let me know, guys. I'll give you my opinion. If you care about my opinion, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me why I'm wrong. Hopefully, you hear from me soon.